Hey everyone, it's Zalgo the Animator here. I've noticed that you've got questions. Well, I've got answers. So let's get right into it. Are you gonna play the new Doom game? Well, once I have the money, yes, absolutely. Alright, does it ever disgrace or hurt to see that you were buddies with Tiger Eye 35 in the past and how he has turned out? And how he is positioned as one of the biggest enemies in the AML community? First of all, I never knew that he was an enemy, that he was considered an enemy. It doesn't really disgrace me to see where he is. I mean, I'm still friends with him at the end of the day. Sure, there are some aspects that I didn't really expect of him to turn out to be, but regardless, he's still my friend. I mean, he's still nice as a person to me. What was the inspiration of Dr. Hunter? Good question, good question. First of all, Dr. Hunter was not created by me. Tofu made the rig and suit. His inspiration was mostly Mega Man and Mettaton Neo. My personal inspiration was to make the character more into a mad scientist kind of guy, and I wanted to add a little bit of martial arts into it, as well as technology. So my inspirations were mostly Star Wars and, of course, the animations of ZalgoTheAnimator's, as most of her characters use martial arts in combat. If you were never on the fight animation but still animating, what do you think you could have been doing? That I have no idea, to be honest. I would have probably made my own short films now that I think of it. Like, it's kind of similar to my Siren Head short film, which was terrible, by the way. But over time I would have made something much bigger. I'm not really sure what, but I would have definitely been there. Like made my own horror short film or something like that. How and why did you settle with the name Zalgo the Animator? It would be really cool to know the reason behind it, as some usernames have a cool story with them. Well, first of all, the name Zalgo the Animator, it came after Anomaly 811, which was my first channel's name when I was in the AML community. But when I left, I decided to use the name Zalgo the Animator because I really liked the Happy Pasta, Baby Zalgo. So I decided to make him into my own character. I decided to make my own version.
Not that I'm stealing the original character or anything, it's my own version, everyone is able to do that.
And so, since I'm an animator, I decided to make my username into Zalgo the Animator. Not Baby Zalgo the Animator or anything like that. I thought it would be too cringy, so I just decided to name it into Zalgo the Animator. It sounded more cool and more confident-ish to me, at least. I'll go ahead and give you 4 questions then.
Well, 3, it says literally 3 there. 4 questions, there are 4 questions instead.
Okay, anyway. What is your favorite version of Zalgo, the character? Well, Zalgo has multiple versions of himself. Well, my favorite version of the character is the Emperor, which is basically the Emperor represents the tyranny and desires for conquest that Zalgo secretly wishes, even though he keeps them under control. It's like every single AU is a living version of Zalgo, but they all exist in his head, even though they are technically real. The Emperor is so powerful because he killed every other AU, including 2 of the strongest versions of Zalgo, Zombie Zalgo and Cosmic Zalgo. Cosmic Zalgo is literally the embodiment of mathematics, a being made of pure cosmos and mathematics, the architect of complex metaphysics and the symbol of Omega, absolute infinity, henceforth the pinnacle of math. And yet the Emperor killed him. I mean, if you look closer on his cloak, he literally has his skull as decoration. What is your favorite Gun Union character so far? I don't really have one. I have multiples. Those would be the 7 Deadly Sins and the 7 Heavenly Virtues. They're cool. I mean, I always liked the idea of the 7 Deadly Sins and its opposites. I really do like the designs though. That's mostly why I like them. What has been your best animation that you've worked on? My best animation would be probably Monster School. I've never animated multiple characters that much at once, but it proved to be a lot easier than animating fights, and I'm still proud of Monster School, so yeah. What is your favorite video on my channel? Zalgo vs Gunwitch, definitely. Best Zalgo battle so far, in my opinion. Which community were you most interested in and wanted to participate in? Well, none really. The AML community was normally a community which I got the chance to participate in because I got to meet Tiger Eye, so I guess that's the only one that counts for me. Which fictional characters do you have as your favorite? Too many to count. I don't really have just one. There are way too many. What kind of games do you like? Horror, survival, action, shooters, and sandbox. Do you prefer to watch movies or series that were inspired by books, or read the books themselves that inspired the movies and series? I prefer watching the movies and series that were inspired by books, like Stephen King's It, for example. Like the movies, of course, not the books. What's your opinion on Russia, my country? I don't know. This could create some kind of conflict, I guess. I mean, Russia is a beautiful country. I don't really have much to say. I mean, I know it's kind of a sensitive subject because of the war that's going on. That's all I can say. Pepsi or Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola, definitely. What's your favorite AML? It would be 666, and if I remember correctly, I also like 358 and 777. They're just a really classic duo and quite iconic to me. Like, they're pretty iconic to the community. Even though they're not exactly from the AML community, it's more like the duo is more from PV, actually. PV's universe, and that's it. What do you think about Siren Head? Cool, unique monster. I still like him. I do feel like I have misunderstood him way too much on battles, because it feels like I put him against characters that were much stronger than him. Or he's maybe more OP than I thought. I think I remember hearing that he can actually cross through the dimensions. So, isn't that something? What's your favorite color? I have 3 favorite colors. Blue, red, and purple. Those are my favorites. Again, I don't really have one single favorite thing, I have multiples. What's your hobbies? Well, animating used to be one of them. I'm not sure if it's still one of them. Or maybe it is, because my motivation is just returning. I do like to draw, and sometimes write some scripts about stories that I like to send to some friends. They're not used for animations. Well, sometimes I do make scripts for animations just so I don't forget my ideas. So, yeah, and how old am I? I am officially 20 years old. How old is your OC? Nothing more. Well, my OC is physically 2 years old. But naturally, like biologically, his true age is in the bajillions. He is way older than existence. Also, he has a teenager form. Well, I wouldn't say teenager form, he's just like a young adult, alright? That form, physically, is 21 years old. What's your plans on your far and bright future? Well, I do have some plans. I think once I get out of the school I go to, because I go to a science and technology school, I am going to become one of those guys that fix computers. I'm not really sure what those are called, but fixing computers sounds really fun to me, at least. What's your favorite YouTube indie show? The Amazing Digital Circus and the Gaslight District. Why is Mascot specifically an evil creature with godlike powers as a nice and kind baby? Well, baby Zalgo is not evil. He never was. He is pretty much a good guy. He may look deceiving, but despite that, he has the heart of an angel. Looks can be deceiving, they say, but trust me, he's not evil at all. What do you think is something underrated that you like but not a lot like? I don't know. What's your favorite character of all time? Again, I don't have only one favorite character. I have multiples. What are some hobbies that you haven't shared before? None of them, really. I did say that I like drawing and animating, and that's pretty much it. If there's anything I haven't shared, well, I do like watching videos and editing random sounds, for example, like just high-pitching random sounds and music. I also like playing The Binding of Isaac. What's some things you can admit you were wrong about? Well, that I did in fact make Siren Head lose a lot in battles. I have made some unfair battles. Some battles may be enraging, for example 1582 versus Siren Head. Yeah. I do feel like Siren Head should have won, because, well, he was literally making siren noises right on 1582's head. His head would have blown up by now. Do you think you'll still be around after you quit YouTube, like commenting, being on social media, etc.? Yeah, I will be, so don't worry about that. What do you think of my mascot, Sulaster the Overlord? His lore is still unfinished, but it is getting worked on, I guess. You can go by design, personality, and what fun and jokes you can do with him. I do like the scripts you made about him. I do like that he's this grumpy, hot-headed guy, literally, who just wants everything to be perfect and go according to plan, and when his minions just fail to do that, he just goes crazy and beats the hell out of them. That's a pretty funny character idea. It's not really unique, because I'm pretty sure that many characters have a pretty similar personality, mostly evil ones, but yeah, I still find it pretty funny. Can your OC defeat the Scarlet King? Well, I don't know. I kinda doubt it. When will you make Gluttony versus AML 666? Oh, well, Robo Dragon's working on that for now. I kinda just gave up, so I gave the project to him to work on. Can you do a video about Lust from Gun Union versus random character video later on?
Why specifically Lust though?
Whatever. It's a maybe though, no promises. Will Dr. Hunter or AML811 ever return to your channel by a battle? Yes, absolutely. I don't have any planned, but he's not like cancelled. He will come back sometime. How are your Minimator animations so good nowadays? Well, just practice really. I've been animating since I was like 14 years old, and right now I'm 20, so it took me some time to practice, but eventually I learned by animating and animating and animating and animating.
How did you get to reattach severed nerves and put a human spine back together, bone by bone?
Study and practice, years of it.
And of course watching some tutorials on how transitions work and stuff like that. I just had to try them on myself, so yeah. What are all the OCs you made? Baby Zalgo and Soul Taker 047, who is literally just a version of the Nightmare Puppet from FNAF 4 with the Infinity Gauntlet, the Kindness Soul from Undertale, the Tendrils from Slenderman, and that's pretty much it. He's that kind of character that can, for some reason, teleport franchise through franchise and steal all the items he wants, and uses them for power even. Are you gonna look back on all animations and make sequels to them? I kinda already am. Well, not really sure which I'll be making, but I do know that Siren Head vs AML 1582 will be one of them, who's also known as Noah, by the way. How much longer do you think you'll be motivated to make animations? Well, that depends, I guess. Depends on my mental health, mostly. But I think I'll be motivated for a good while, at least I hope. Let's hope I'm not wrong. Favorite SCP? 096, mostly. I did say before that the Scarlet King and probably the Gate Guardian were my favorites, but 096 is my favorite now. Have there been any characters you would like to use in battles, but would be too complicated to animate? If so, could you name a few? I don't recall, to be fair. I think it would be Tricky from the 358 and 777 battle. I might come back to do it sometime, but probably that was just me exaggerating. I did say that he was hard to animate, but I guess that must have been when I was like really demotivated. I think that's it. I don't really recall any. Would you ever upload videos like making renders showing unfinished animations that never got to see the light of day, or random shit posts every now and then? That way your community knows you're still kicking? Maybe. I could as well just make like render speedruns per se. And unfinished animations, yeah, I could definitely do that. Like whenever, like as some kind of emergency video to see if people like it or not. Shit posts, I'm not sure. I don't think so, cause well, it's a shit post. I mean, it's just like it doesn't really like exist to cheer people up. It just exists just to keep your channel like busy. It's like a jigsaw piece that's not supposed to be there. Cookies or brownies? Brownies, definitely. 2021 question. Hey A11, do you have a girlfriend? No, I do not. I do not plan on having one at all. I'm not interested. 2025. Hey Zalgo, what are your current plans moving forward in the future like? Well, I did say I was gonna become a hardware guy. Are you gonna come back to making battle videos? Yes I am. Are you planning on making something new like a new IP? I'm not sure what IP means, so I couldn't really answer that for you. Do you want to make more animations of old AMLs? I mean, not really, but I could. Maybe I'll change my mind in the future, but most definitely I'd like to try that again. Will you make other types of content if you don't feel like making animations anymore? That's a maybe. I could make short films, but I'm not really sure. I could as well try something new though, if battles are no longer interesting at all to make. When will Carnage vs 2 Gun Zombies fight come out? Well, that was cancelled long ago. Will the channel's old fights be getting remakes? Yes, definitely. I am remaking some of them. Showdown from the web series called Murder Drones vs Gun Witch Jessica? No, I don't think so. What were your favorite battles so far? That would be Infected Lala and Undead Poe vs SCP-096. Most definitely Gun Witch vs Gunmen and Gun Prototypes. And AML 358 and 777 vs Tricky Part 1. That would be it. Will you do a live stream of Doom: The Dark Ages? Well, I might do that when the popularity of the game's release is already over, because first of all, I don't have enough money to even afford it. But I will definitely make a live stream of that whenever I can afford it. Will you still play Dark Deception Chapter 5 when it comes out? Yes, definitely. Again, Dark Deception is still my favorite game, so yes, I will absolutely play it whenever it comes out. What's your favorite creepypasta? Zalgo, why did you make AML 610 look like a reptile? Well, I didn't make the skin. That was my good friend Tofu. What's the first thing you do when you realize you're in a dream? I would probably cry for hours and eventually have an existential crisis. But then I will accept it. It might take a while though. I really want to know if AML 358 and AML 003 have titles, just like how AML 610 is called the Fake Enderman and AML 777 is called the Bloodman. Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. I never thought that AMLs have titles. I never really considered that official, so don't ask me. If you were to work on a cancelled project again, which one would you choose? Probably the same one you're telling me. Anomaly 777 and 358 vs Tricky Part 2. I might, but I promise nothing, because, you know, every time I make promises I fail to accomplish them, so it's rather better to not promise anything to avoid any disappointment. What are your favorite and least favorite creepypastas? Nice profile picture, by the way, I recognize that. Zalgo is my favorite creepypasta, and my least favorite, probably Laughing Jill. Will the part 2 of AML 358 and AML 777 vs Tricky come out soon? Well, probably not soon. Will AML 666 vs Gunman or Gluttony come out soon? RoboDragon is working on that, so ask him that instead. Can you someday do Baby Zalgo vs the Scarlet King? It would be a very interesting battle, partner. Well, someday. I'm not really sure when, but definitely not now. Has Evelyn escaped the backrooms yet? No, she hasn't. Do you have a favorite analog horror series? If yes, then what is it? Mandela Catalog, definitely. What is your favorite mythical creature? Probably the Hydra. SCP-811. What is a random skill you have and you don't know why you have this skill? I don't really have a secret skill like that, not that I'm aware of. When did you start using Minimator? In November 2019, when I was around 14. Do you think you have good IRL friends? Yeah, I do. Most of them are nice to me. They do have some sense of humor that I don't really always understand, but I hang out well with them. That's all that matters to me. How's things on life so far? Good, very good, very good. It was a little down earlier, but if you wish to know, I'm on the ups. What's your secret? Well, I guess my secret is that I have a YouTube channel that I haven't really revealed to the public. It's a YouTube channel where I make animations, so yeah, I guess that's my secret. Is growing up in the realm of possibility for you, since you've been a baby for more than 2 years already? I mean, if you look at my profile picture, I'm already grown up. Yes, I can still be a baby here and there, but regardless, I've grown up. Who would be your favorite character in all of fiction? I don't have one. I have way too many favorite characters. But if I had to pick one, that would be Gangle. Don't judge me. I like her, okay? She's cute. What kind of sports do you do, or are you good at? Well, I do Taekwondo, so isn't that something? Who do you think wins between 1 gorilla and 100 men? I think the gorilla would win. Because, well, 100 men, I do not think that they would be a match for the gorilla's strength. I'm pretty sure that a gorilla has the strength of 100 men. That's just me, I guess. Will you ever make more AMLs in the future? I've never made an AML except 811, but yeah, I don't think I will make any more in the future at all, actually. Where are you from? I'm from Chile. Do you like noodles or vegetables? Why not both? How stronger to gunmen, Zalgo? Well, I surpassed that universe completely. You like songs, Zalgo? Yes, I do. Daft Punk is one of my favorites. In fact, they are my favorites. I'm so sorry for playing Roblox, Zalgo. You don't have to be sorry. I mean, it's your life. I don't control what you do. If you like Roblox, then do whatever you want. I personally don't like that game, but do whatever you want. What breakfast do you like? Toast with eggs. That's what I like. Do you have any ideas for the animations? I have some ideas. I'm still cooking on some other animations. Specifically one right now, which I'm not sure when I'll release, but I'm working on it quite well. What colors do you like? Blue, red, and purple. 3 million sub. Well, what's up? What dinner do you like? Well, anything really. Pizza. Yes, pizza is my favorite. And welp, that was the Q&A. While I didn't receive that many uncomfortable questions, I got what I got, so it doesn't matter at the end of the day. I still thank you all for the questions. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was the uncomfortable Q&A session. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.